UFC 322 is just a few days away, and it might be the best fight card of the year. We have two incumbent longtime champions moving up in weight to try to get a second belt. We have a handful of number one contender matchups, and we have 14 fights that I promise will deliver. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks, and I'm going to give you my bets for UFC 322. Before we look forward, let's look back. Here's how we did at UFC Vegas 111. Overall, the boys delivered almost 3 units of net profit, a 19% ROI. The safety parlay hit, that's a couple of weeks in a row. The slam of the week hit, that is on a wild win streak. But overall, Jacob continues to be the king of the castle. This guy is on a hot streak. He stumbled at UFC 321, but he is up 6 of the last 7 cards. He is up more than 12 units in the last 7 cards, a 21% ROI. So if you want to check out every one of Jacob's bets, my bets, Bet Sam's bets, go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member at the top. It's freaking $10, and you get everything, not just the bets. I'm going to give you some bets in this video, but Jakey Boy is the hot hand. If you go to WeWantPicks.com, it's not just a list of random bets like some cheap Patreon. It is a full-blown interactive website with tools. One of those tools is the line movement tracker. This will give you the opening odds, the current odds, the win probability, and the line movement for every fighter on every card. You're also going to get a prop hunter, a curated set of data specifically designed to help you find prop bets. You're going to get a fight simulator as well. This can do both fantasy legwork and betting legwork. I like to use it to find the strike lines, the takedown lines, so we can hit the over-under. What it does is it simulates fights 100,000 times, and it gives you all the data along the way. So it'll say, in these 100 simulations, Leon Edwards hands X number of significant strikes. Then you go to your sports book. The sports book says, oh, Leon's line is 20. The simulator says he lands 50. Let's do the more. You can use all that data to find your spots. All of those tools, all of our copy-paste picks and bets, and every single thing we do is $10, and it's $10 for an entire month. Here is what that month looks like. Here is what the next 4 fight cards look like for you. UFC 322, which is objectively an unbelievable fight card. Then we head over to Qatar for the lightweight number 1 contender matchup. Then we head over to UFC 323, and then we have an incredible fight night to round out the year. Check it all out. It's freaking $10. There's no greedy. There's no upsell. There's no cross-sell. It's $10 for everything. Go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member, unlock all of it instantly, and give yourself the best possible chance to make a couple of bucks heading into the weekend. Let's talk about this fight card specifically. If you've watched these videos before, first thing we do is talk about some solid favorites and some solid underdogs, and then we move to the actual bets that have been placed. If I'm looking at this card, there are far more solid underdogs than there are solid favorites. I am pretty confident in a couple of these people, and then there's a lot of dogs that I can make the case for. For example, you don't see Tracy Cortez's name on the solid underdog list, but it could be. What if she does get all the takedowns and stays safe on top? We could have quite the upset. If we look at some confident favorites, I think Matheus Camilo. This is a new fight to the card. The only question mark would be cardio, but the reality is this is a new fight to the card. Matheus Camilo comes forward, can get the fight to the ground. He's very aggressive. And his opponent, Viacheslav Borshchev, while a dangerous striker, has just that twinkle is gone. He has lost the fire in his belly. He is not who he used to be. He can get taken down pretty easily. He's getting rocked. He's getting wobbled. He's just not who he was before. He's not on a great little streak right now. I think Matheus Camilo moves forward, brings the fight to him, takes him down, potentially finishes him early, the exact same way Terrence McKinney just did in his last fight. Then we have Baisangor Susurkraya. I'll never get his name correctly. I don't care how many times I hear it. The reality is, this is a setup fight. This is here you go, bud. We're going to try to market you. You're a good-looking dude. You're exciting. You're young. Go beat the absolute piss out of Eric Makhachev. And that is what he's going to do. I hate putting up a minus 800 as a confident favorite, but the reality is he should beat the brakes off of Eric Makhachev. And you can go ahead and find yourself a prop bet to hopefully make these odds a little more affordable. But on this card, there's a couple of people I'm confident in, like Islam Makhachev. He's not on this confident list because JDM is freaking tremendous. JDM's got decent scramble skills. He could potentially defend a few of those takedowns, and this could be tricky. So we're going to stick with the people I'm actually very confident in. Gregory Rodrigues is the next one. Gregory Rodrigues, despite being very hittable and bleeding like a faucet, you just look at him, he's very similar to Matheus Rebecki, where you just look at him a little bit and then there's blood gushing everywhere. The difference between him and Matheus Rebecki is Gregory Rodrigues will adjust his game plan. Gregory Rodrigues knows I'm fighting a dangerous striker. I should shoot some takedowns. We saw that when he fought CLD. We've seen that when he's fought other dangerous strikers in the past. He's like, I'm not going to mess with this. I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt. I'm a high-level athlete. I can get takedowns. Let me do that. So I expect Gregory to do exactly that. You have to worry about him on the feet because he's got incredible power, and he can work in the wrestling. It's only 3 rounds, so even if he gets tired, he'll be fine. Then we have Sean Brady. I'm a big Michael Morales guy. I've been talking about him for a while. I love that he's a national champion wrestler. I love that he's a high-level Muay Thai guy. I don't love, though, that in his fights, he sort of lets you dictate what you're going to do, and then he reacts. If you're high pressure, he's going to try to back up and counter. If you're not, then he'll end up in a staring contest. If you go back and watch a lot of the fights that aren't against very old men like Gilbert Burns, he ends up in kind of close decisions. He's usually the more athletic fighter, usually the more well-rounded fighter, but he doesn't put it all together. He doesn't come out here, find a finish. He doesn't get in your face. He just kind of waits, measures the room, and goes from there. And it's working for him. He's obviously very talented, very undefeated. He fills out a dress beautifully. And if you don't know what I'm referencing, just Google him and then the word dress right after. The reality is, I think Sean Brady is just going to move forward, get the takedowns, and fighting off of your back is very different than trying to counter-strike in your feet. So I think Sean Brady can actually bring this to Michael Morales. If we're looking at some solid underdogs, there's a couple names on here that are going to rage bait you. And it's not there for rage bait. It's genuine. Angela Hill. And you guys are going to flip, and there's just some fucking negative Nancy weirdo that has to comment every week that's like, oh, this pick's as bad. Shut up. Angela Hill could absolutely win this fight. Fatima Klein is not that good. Did the people in the back hear me? Do I need to scream that? Fatima Klein is not that good. Her takedowns suck. Her takedowns suck. They suck. Her striking is decent. The jiu-jitsu is obviously very good, but her takedowns suck. Fatima Klein should win this fight. She's a freaking 5-1 favorite. But the reality is Angela Hill is very durable. Angela Hill has fought the best people on planet Earth for a very long time. She is still fast. She's still a good striker. The takedown defense worries me a little bit, but I feel like Fatima's takedowns are just so garbage. Who cares? I don't see Fatima landing another bullshit head kick. Her only 2 UFC wins are against women who have been cut from the organization. They're gone. They weren't good enough to compete anymore, so they cut them. They kicked them to the road. I think this is a very good test for Fatima. Fatima wins, great. She should. She's a 5-1 favorite. But I think Angela Hill could absolutely sneak in around her too. I think she could absolutely be the crafty veteran who uses cage control well, who is clean and fast and stays at distance. So Angela Hill, to me, decent dog. Chepe Mariscal, the fact that this dude's an underdog is blowing my mind. I bet on him when he was a slight favorite because I thought the line would go the other way. I thought the general public would look at this and say, Pat Sabatini's a little chinny. Pat Sabatini's wrestling is decent. His jiu-jitsu is very good, but Chepe Mariscal is an absolute dog. Chepe Mariscal has better wrestling. Chepe Mariscal has better striking. First of all, they have already fought. I don't really care. I don't care that they've already fought. It was 7 years ago. They're different people. Chepe won that fight, but that is not a factor at all into this matchup. That was 7 years ago. If you think a fighter is exactly the same 7 years up or down, then what the hell are we doing? I think Chepe, honestly, I'm not going to say beats the brakes off of Pat Sabatini, but I think he neutralizes everything and has success. Pat Sabatini is good. He's very dangerous on the ground, but I think Chepe is just too much of a dog. Look at Chepe's wins. Some of the people he beat would definitely beat Pat Sabatini. Morgan Charrier, I think he beats Pat Sabatini as well. So Chepe Mariscal, love him as an underdog. I don't know why that line's moving, but it is. Cody Haddon. Listen, Malcolm Wellmaker is a very hyped prospect. He's been knocking people's heads clean off their bodies. But Cody Haddon is also a pretty tough dude and a prospect in his own right. He's got good wrestling, so he can get the takedowns, stay safe on top, grind, work forward. His fight with Dan Argueta in his UFC debut was great. Dan Argueta is not an easy night out for anybody. I hope he hasn't been cut. I don't know his contract status. He hasn't fought in a little while. I hope Dan Argueta is still in the roster because he is a perfect measuring stick. He's always going to get after it. He's always going to get in your face. He's not easy for anybody. And we used him as a measuring stick for Cody Haddon, and Cody rose to the occasion and got that win. So he is a good underdog here. He could absolutely take Malcolm Wellmaker down over and over and over. We haven't seen Wellmaker in any real trouble. He's just such a powerful striker. He's knocking people out, and we're good. But if you go to his regional tape, he can wrestle. I think Malcolm Wellmaker wins this fight, but I understand why this line is close. I actually expected a recency bias to kick in and this line be crazy, but it actually is very reasonable. And then JDM in the main event. I am on the Islam side. I'm also on the Wellmaker side. But I do recognize that these guys can win. JDM could absolutely win this fight. It was not that long ago that Islam went to hell and back with a teeny tiny itsy bitsy Alexander Volkanovski. Now take a giant JDM is huge for welterweight. He's got great striking. He's got good takedown defense, very good scramble skills, good cardio. It's not insane that Islam adding some of this extra weight will slow him down a little bit. His cardio's never been spectacular. We have seen him dig deep. Islam is a dog. He dug deep in the Dustin Poirier fight. He dug deep in the Volkanovski fight. He does not quit, but we've seen him slow down. We've seen him breathe heavy. It's not crazy that JDM stuffs a couple of takedowns, hurts him a little bit, and we end up in a really competitive fight. I do think Islam will win, but JDM is a solid dog. 2-1 seems like a bit of a disservice. Look what he just did to Bilal. Obviously, Islam is a much better wrestler than Bilal, but he neutralized Bilal with, I'm going to say, relative ease. Let's take a look at the actual bets. Here's what I've got going on. It's a little earlier in the week than usual. That's because we're adjusting our schedule. We got some personal travel going on and things like that. So we don't quite have a full suite of all the prop bets, but if you do become a premium member at WeWantPicks.com, I am 100% sure you're going to see a whole bunch of prop bets hitting the board as they become available to us. If I'm going to walk you through my bets, we're going to start with the Chepe Mariscal bet. I think he should be the favorite. I thought the -113 was a gift. I thought that was a gift. Now he's plus money, jump on it. And hopefully I don't look stupid come Sunday, but jump on it. I think Chepe Mariscal wins this fight for all the reasons I mentioned before. Matheus Camilo, all the reasons I mentioned before as well. I think he gets takedowns whenever he wants them. I think he can grind forward. I think he can stay safe. I'm not worried about him on the feet. He's got a decent chin. He's got good wrestling, fantastic submissions. I think Matheus Camilo wins this fight. It is short notice. That's why it's only a half a unit. I would have bet far more than that if this was full fight camp versus full fight camp. But I also think if that was the case, these odds wouldn't be what they are. Here's that Malcolm Wellmaker bet. I fully recognize how good Cody Haddon is. We just talked about it. But I understand Malcolm Wellmaker is very dangerous on the feet. And if Malcolm Wellmaker lands a few times and Cody feels that, his takedowns are going to be from a mile away because he's going to be scared to engage. And the farther they are, the easier they are to defend. This is in New York. This is in Madison Square Garden. If this was in Las Vegas, I would be far more confident because, as we have seen time and time again, Las Vegas doesn't give a shit about your wrestling. They don't care. Takedowns mean nothing in Las Vegas. So Cody Haddon with a couple of empty takedowns won't mean anything. Now, this is New York. It's a storied athletic commission. It's the most famous arena in the planet. But they're not always in line with what should be happening in the scoring. You get kind of some old school judging, if you will. That's why this is a half a unit. There may be some bias towards wrestling. I have that as an old school MMA guy. Malcolm Wellmaker should be the much better striker, not even close. If he can neutralize most of the wrestling, he wins this fight. Then I have the Wellmaker Haddon under 2.5 because I think Wellmaker can knock out Haddon. I also think Haddon can frustrate Wellmaker and break him. I haven't seen him get broke before. We haven't seen that yet. But how many times have we seen a hyped prospect have things not go his way just to get completely snapped in half? If Haddon really gets after it with the wrestling and is on top and is controlling and is working and elbowing, he could absolutely finish this fight. So I do think there's a finish in this fight. We got the under at plus money. I was surprised it was a 2.5 line and not a 1.5 line. Then I took Islam Makhachev and Kyle Daukaus and I slapped them together. They should win. They both should win. I think they do both win, but I'm not insanely confident in them to do so. So I took two guys that should win. I put them together. We got decent odds on that. Islam should get the takedowns. And as we know, when he gets a takedown, it is very hard to get up. Kyle Daukaus is fighting just a done Gerald Meerschaert. Gerald Meerschaert's done. He'll come out. He'll best effort it. But at this point, he's a one-trick pony. Kyle Daukaus has a jiu-jitsu black belt. Whether he knocked out Michel Pereira in a fixed fight or regular fight, that's the FBI will let us know about that. But I do think Kyle Daukaus wins this fight, and therefore I put the two of them together and we got some solid odds. I do have a premium parlay as well. It is a plus money parlay. We're messing with some round lines, very confident in that, so I put a full unit on it. And then the safety parlay. The safety parlay has been streaking. And I have had more plus money safety parlays in the last 6 months than I have regular, meaning minus money. The days of like, oh, a couple of huge favorites. No, that is not what we have here. This is plus money. Last week was almost even. The week before that was plus, and we are hitting. Unlock every single bet. Now and in the future. It's only $10. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Here's a nice little teaser package for you. We do have future bets as well. Jacob's got a monster UFC 323 money line on the board. Bet Sam's got a Weili Zhang bet, even money. The odds are kind of all over the place there. I've seen her as a slight favorite. I've seen her as a slight dog. We've got a submission prop bet at plus 195, a round under prop bet at plus 155, and Bet Sam's slam of the week at minus 120. The slam of the week has been, I don't have the official stats because it's not mine, it's Bet Sam's. It feels like 80% of the times I do a recap, I'm like, slam of the week hit. Regardless of how his other bets do. Slam of the week hit. So Slam of the week has been doing quite well. Check all of this. It's freaking $10. We have 19 plus units of bets on the board right now. That does include future events. It's $10. You get tools. You get copy-paste bets. You get insight. You get an artificial intelligence. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. And if you're looking for a nice little book here and a leg up and a couple of dollars, go to this URL, use the affiliate link, sign up, make a deposit. We'll send you $50 as a thank you. It's affiliate marketing. They're going to say, Ange, thanks for the customer. Here's a couple of bucks. I'm going to say thank you, slice off some of that money and give it to you. It is a triangle of, the word that hit my mind was pleasure. It is not a pleasure triangle. It's a thankful triangle. We're all going to make a couple of bucks in the exchange. Use the link. Goodbye. Then we have these 4 events. Listen, the year is winding down. I hate the end of the year, right? We get a bunch of spectacular fights. We build some momentum, and then boom, we hit a break. We have the holidays, so it's not an awful time for a break, but then we have a break. It's the longest break the UFC ever does. It's 3 weekends. But what I am looking forward to the most is this is the end of the ESPN era. We have had 7 years of ESPN. I have not had the issues a lot of you have had. I haven't had all the website issues. I haven't had all the app issues. Every now and then it's some dumb bullshit, but for the most part, the app's been pretty stable, and I have enjoyed the ESPN era. But I am very excited for the Paramount and CBS era. What do these monster cards look like? UFC 322 is going to cost me $80. Next year, in a few months, UFC 324 in January, that's not going to cost me not $1. It'll be free on CBS. I already have Paramount Plus, so to see the events on that channel or that streaming service, I'm looking for it. I am very excited for all of this. So if you want to check out every pick, every bet, every tool, we will be breaking down those cards as they pop up. We're going to be giving you everything you could ever want or need heading into a fight week. Let me know if you're excited for the Paramount era or well enough is good. Let's not mess with it. Leave it alone. ESPN is good to go. UFC 322 is probably the best fight card of the year. I'm looking forward to it. Good luck this weekend.